Right, you lovely lot. Welcome to FC Bullard with me and Fenners.
Great to be back together, JB.
It's good, isn't it?
Do you want to tell them what this is all about?
Right, we're going to be building a football club from scratch where I'm going to be the president and you're going to be the director of football.
That's right. And if you've only just found out that FC Bullard's on YouTube, where have you been? We've been uploading episodes for months. You can find us on Spotify and Apple and wherever else you get your podcasts from to make sure you're up to speed.
Enjoy the episodes and up the pirates. You've had a little go at that, haven't you?
What do you mean?
Have you...
Oh,
Had
hat.
a speciale hat
Yeah.
with a little...
Just, you know.
Go on.
No, I'm just representing a little bit, you know. No, to be honest, no, I've started wearing caps a bit. I know we've touched upon it a little bit, and I never used to wear caps.
Reason for it?
There are fewer more depressing sights than that of an Englishman in a baseball cap. Who said that?
Go on.
Pete Doherty. Or Calber at Libertines. They said that.
Okay.
And I always used to be like, it's a lyric. Yeah.
I was going to say, was it lyric?
About caps. And partly it's because of my hair. I started wearing them. But also why not? I just like it.
The look of it?
Well, yeah, I do, yeah.
Looks cool.
Yeah. It's not an exact science, caps, but I think you can look terrible in a cap. And people might say I look terrible in this cap, but
No, you don't.
I think it's a nice.
No.
I think it's a nice cap. It's got a nice little P.
You've worn caps since I've known you.
Yeah.
Is that you getting braver in your fashion wear?
You know, I'm just.
But you've always been brave in your fashion wear, haven't you? Got speciale socks as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've had a little think about this today.
Did the club shop, didn't I?
You've had a little go. I've just got on it. Do you think the baggy look would suit me? I've ordered some Bogey Boys trousers and some Malbon trousers.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
So why I like these is they're nice and fitted round the waist.
Yes.
Because I ain't got bum. I've got like a very. It's
a bit like an ironing board.
It is an ironing board. So anything that's
flat derrick, we
tight
call it.
around there, it's better. And then billows out a little bit. But the good thing with these is they don't go too narrow at the bottom.
Got ya. But you still like them.
Yeah, they've got a little bit of width at the bottom, and they've also got a little tie at the sides that you can tie them with. So yeah, they're from Uniqlo.
Recommend.
Big fan of Uniqlo.
Yeah, nice.
I interviewed Noel Gallagher once.
Go on.
And we were sat, and it was in this hotel, and I sat down with him, and he went, "Oh, them jeans you got on there, are they Uniqlo?" I was like, "Yeah."
Did you call it?
He went, "Yeah." He says, "Oh, best jeans ever." He's like, Can't get them anywhere." He says, "I used to buy them all the time." And then
that's unbelievable.
They did, and they did for a while. Uniqlo did this really great jean, and then they just stopped doing it. You know, brands do that, don't they?
Yeah,
they do
like
stuff.
These Calvins, mate, I can't take these off. Kills it. You can't.
And then they just.
I know.
Then they change it.
Discontinue.
They just change it, or they change the colour, or the fit. Or it's frustrating, Jim.
You just mentioned his name. Is there any chance you get him on here for us?
I've flagged it.
Oh,
I've flagged it.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah.
Didn't tell me about this.
I flagged it.
Would you buzz him up?
I did. Yeah, I messaged him.
What did you
messaged
say?
him.
Did you explain to him the concept?
He just wants to do football. He loves doing football.
Does
stuff,
he massive?
He just loves talking about football. Probably as much as me and you do. I think when we get onto things like music, obviously, and like what we want to run out to at FC Bullard, for example, then that's a great opportunity to get him on. But I'd like to think that
wouldn't it be great when he could come out with a lyric for us? Yeah. Is it a lyric or a slogan?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you struggle with this, don't you?
I always struggle. What is it?
What are you calling? What are you still calling a nickname a side name?
Oh,
are you still doing that?
Anyway, enough waffle.
Yeah. So when we do that, when we think about what music,
yeah.
Very quickly now, if FC Bullard first game tomorrow, yeah, what music we're running out to?
Well,
it's a massive conversation.
Yeah.
Massive conversation.
Noel needed. I know main man's been on.
I'm sure.
No, director of football's already been on, but yeah.
Just
right. Listen. This episode.
Yes.
Let's get on with it.
Yeah. What's it about?
Stadiums.
Oh.
What do we like? What do we think we want to be? Loads. Right. Well, 101 questions, right? Let's crack on.
Okay.
because this is also exciting for me because there's some stadiums I've played at, and not to go straight in at the top, that was just dreamlike, like Royal Rovers stuff. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
But there were some stadiums that weren't so good. So we're going to go through them. Got a load of questions here. I want you to hit me with anything you want, right? Anything, and we're cracking.
Can you remember the first time you went to a... The reason I'm asking you this, because I remember mine. The first time you went to a football stadium that was, a football stadium and not a Sunday league game, something like that, a local park game. It was where you went and you saw the floodlights and you saw the pitch, and it was that kind of magical moment. Can you remember what it was?
It was Upton Park. My dad took me as a kid. That was like the first bang. But even before that, slightly, Welling United, just a kid growing up, they was in a Vauxhall Conference, and even just like that sort of old school feel going through the turnstiles. That was my first real glimpse of. I used to call it men's football. Yeah. That was my first glimpse of it. It's only up the road. Dad took me and we watched a few games on a Saturday afternoon. That was mad. But really, my first impactful when he took me to Upton Park, that was the team I supported. To watch them playing, that was just mental. Just the atmosphere, and it's big. Had a grand scale of it. That's sort of like as a kid, you're like, wow, it's almost daunting. But yeah, amazing feelings back then.
I remember going to Scarborough's ground.
Yeah.
So I lived in a little village called East Ayton, which is about 4 miles outside of Scarborough. Scarborough's in North Yorkshire. You've been to Scarborough?
Yeah.
But back then, and even now, when I go back to Scarborough now, and I go back to my old house and I sleep in the little back room, little tiny room, I do, yeah. When you turn the lights out, it's pitch black.
Right, no street lights nowhere.
There are, but
there's
no light pollution around there. Like in London, it's you can never really get a pitch black night, can you?
Okay.
Or if you go out into the countryside somewhere or wherever. But so Scarborough's it's on the coast, but it's countryside, and there's a reason for me saying that, because when I went to see Scarborough play at the athletic ground, so it used to be called the Athletic Ground, Scarborough's ground, then became the McCain Stadium, and Cammy nicked off me the Theatre of Chips.
No,
he did. Cammy.
Go on,
Cammy, let's if you want to have a chat about it, Chris, then I think you probably got a few backhanders off McCain's for that.
Good stadium announcer, Cammy could be.
Theatre of Chips. And
FC Bullard, where I was going with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he's better than that, I suppose.
But it was athletic ground when I first went.
Right.
And Scarborough, a non-league team, Alliance Premier League, I think they were then. But I remember distinctly getting there on an autumn or a winter's evening, because it would have been a night game, and the floodlights, the brightness of the floodlights.
Really?
Was just
Where you come from that?
Wow, yeah. Well, it was just... I'd never been to a game...
Surely you've seen light before?
I'd seen light, but these were like... But they were...
Massive?
I've seen the light, but they were just really powerful, and
right, okay.
I think they were really good. For that level of football, they were excellent floodlights. When you had your Subbuteo set, and you had you got the really...
Or non-league.
The top
like
quality
non-league,
floodlights.
there's like...
Yeah, we've done some
we've
done some drills where you've gone to non-league and they're on.
I can't see you, John. Come in a fraction.
Yeah, but they were just, and it was magical.
Yeah,
it was magical,
especially a floodlit game,
a night game. Oh, it was
it was
amazing.
Yeah,
and then my hero was this guy called Neil Sellers, played for Scarborough.
Sellers.
Yeah, Sello. Yeah, and he had a moustache.
Shock.
Everyone. Yeah. But
big two-shot.
He was like a Graham Souness style.
Yeah.
But he used to spray it around, and he had big muscly calves, and I could see his calves glistening in the evening sky and under the floodlights, and it was amazing. It was brilliant. It was and that so the athletic ground, Scarborough's ground was really, it was a really it meant a lot to me. I played there once.
Really?
Played there once.
Go on, how'd you get on there? How'd you grace the field?
I was playing for North Yorkshire. Under 19,
decent outfit.
19 level, yeah,
would have been good. A decent outfit.
It was the quarterfinals of the.
So when you say you played for North Yorkshire, was that the district? Was that the county?
Yeah.
So when you say you're not a very good footballer and you always batter it down, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people wouldn't know you play county level football.
Yeah, but it's.
But you can't say it's.
No,
it's when you're that age, it's the best you can in your county.
God,
North Yorkshire's a big place. You'd have had some good players come up. What position was you?
I played centre midfield then.
Was you a spray merchant?
No, I was fit. I was like a bit like you without the quality.
John,
I was fit.
There's levels here.
Naturally fit, I think,
Love
which
it.
is strange. Gone
very similar.
See me now, but I was a very naive footballer, and so we were down into the last day. Again, we played Devon, and it was so we're playing Scarborough, and all the family had come down and. All your mates from sixth form were all there.
Wicked.
First minute up against this big centre midfielder, and he's just smashed me.
T-boned you.
Smashed me in the nose, and it's just, I mean.
Is that why it's bent?
And that was it.
What?
And then for the rest of the game, I just ran around. I didn't get a kick. I was chasing everything. I was kicking anything that moved. It was like, it's the weirdest.
Did your head go?
I just couldn't. It was too much for me. The game was like almost too big, and once I got that walloped, then it was. I was running around with a sponge, but it wasn't like it didn't give me a thing. It was like someone had gone to the back of the car, in the boot where you've got one of those big.
So you broke your nose. You're running around with a sponge over your ear.
Yeah. And we were 1-0, we were 1-up or 1-all, and then. I can't remember his name, fullback Tony Colson, I think it was. I think he scored an own goal, like tried to back pass and chip the keeper, our own keeper, last minute. I mean, but I remember going into college like the next day, and I've been so devastated.
Yeah.
So like saying to teachers and. What do I do? How do I not feel like this? And they were like, I was so. And so you look at like levels you've been at and the highs and the lows, and it's like, wow, how much when you get knocked out of a World Cup or you lose a final or you lose the league by a point or how psychologically, wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was.
Imagine if you missed a penalty or something and had semi-cup, World Cup final or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's like
so Scarborough was always
one of your first places.
That was
a stadium that sticks in your mind.
And it's not there anymore, unfortunately.
No.
It's a Lidl now. It got flattened.
Oh really?
Yeah, but the Scarborough Athletic have now they're like Phoenix from the Flames. They've set up again, and so they're playing the Flamingo Land Stadium, which is an AstroTurf, but got a great little club there. John O'Greening's the manager there.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, doing really well. So I'd like to get up and go and see him a bit more, but it's tricky, isn't it?
Of course.
So Jim, I'm gonna go route one here, and I'm gonna ask you your favourite stadium that you've played in. Favourite stadium that you've played in ever,
right?
And for what reason?
Oh, John. Well, straight away you go to the top, don't you? I played, as I said before, I've played in like non-league, conference, first year of champ and prem. Straight away, when you say the best stadium, it's got to be like a Premier League stadium. And then my mind flicks back just then and goes, has it? Because every time I've played, one stadium that always comes up in my head is Leeds away, Ellen Road. It's like, for me, your stadium's only as good as your fans, really. As well, they sort of cross paths, don't they? And every time we played at Leeds, it was like thumping, like just so loud. Yeah.
It's the loudest ground I've ever been to. Ellen Road.
Same as you?
Yeah, absolutely. Without
okay.
a doubt.
Because it's weird that you say it. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So it's weird how we both say that. So it was amazing there. Also, I got good memories as a player there. But then going back, I also remember. So I could sign for West Ham. I had 3-year pro contract at West Ham. You got to remember, I was working with my dad. Builder, come decorator, come like make good whatever I could get my hands on, really. And I went up for a trial at West Ham, and then I signed a 3-year pro deal. Roy the Rovers story, really. If anyone don't know the story, it's a frightening story. I supported West Ham since a kid. And that very first week, you got to remember, I just come off a building site. That very first week, West Ham's game was away at Anfield. So that, coming off the building site, 2 weeks later, got them all on the coach. Frank Lampard, Rio Ferdinand, Paolo Di Canio, Joe Coles, Carrick's, Trevor Sinclair's, Jermaine Defoe, Steve Lomas, it's Razor Rudder, Ian Wright. It's like shit. And then you enter the ground. Never been Anfield before, by the way. Enter it, go through the stadium. It's like, then I'm on the bench. I'm on the bench. And I go out onto the pitch, and it's like, I just remember the pitch being so firm and glossy. You remember, I've come from non-league. I've skipped the whole lot.
Yeah. And
gone to the Prem, probably the biggest ground in the world, where history is like the Anfield badge. Like, it's just phenomenal. It's just the smell of it, the gates as you drive in. It's just fucking outrageous, the whole lot. Touch the badge, walk alone when they started singing it. It's just outrageous. So that, for me, it's weird. It happened so early in my career and never really got beat, really. You'd have to say Anfield was one of my favourites. And the way it happened, John, it's just like, tell me whoever's had that happen to.
Yeah.
That's like you signing for Liverpool.
Because you were on the bench, did it help you to take it in more? Because, you know, if you'd have been, I'm starting, would you have been, you'd been probably a lot more focused on that and not taking any of that in, maybe?
Don't know. Can't answer your question. Might have done. But it was just a big, I just don't think I'd have been confused anyway, because I just come from a building site. Whatever happens, like, on the bench was good enough.
Yeah,
there was like that was amazing. I remember a scenario, Harry Redknapp, me and Gavin Olligan, he come from Kingstonian. They signed us from non-league the same week, and it was me and him on the bench. And it was like 1-1 away at Anfield, or 2-2. I can't remember the exact score. And Harry looked at both of us. It's like the 75th minute. He's putting one of us on.
Right.
And he's looking at me and Gavin. And I'm thinking, I'm on here. And he chooses Gavin, puts him on up front, and Gavin goes 1-on-1 with a goalkeeper. Could have been me. Yeah. Right? And he misses it. He shovels it. But that scenario when Harry's looking at me or him, I'm like, fuck, this is like nuts. But it wasn't meant to be, and it didn't happen. But
are you 100% there thinking,
I'm going on?
Pick me. Is there any part
mate,
of you
I wanted in.
Going like...
I can honestly say, I remember that moment clear as day. I wanted in.
Yeah.
I wanted in, and I wanted on, just to show them that I could do it. Again, my belief was high. I've just come from Grays and Northfleet. I know it's the Premier League, but I wasn't really feared of that.
No.
You know, after I got over it, it's just all a bit like, oh man, I'm here now, let's go. Like, I just wanted to get cracking. But that stadium was like, I always remember going into Anfield, getting changed. And it was all like wooden. It was all like
panelling, isn't it?
Yeah. It's obviously changed now.
I think so, yeah.
But the smell of it is all like oldie. And then I remember on top of you was like all the seats where the punters would sit, and you'd hear them get off it and it go, and all the seats would come down. When you're putting your boots on, when you're getting ready to go out, it's filling up. And I could just remember that above your head. It's just nuts. They're right there. And in the change room, it was real low. It felt like it's on top of you like that. And it's quite a tight change room, the away change room. I'm not sure about the home change room. It's quite a tight change room. But I remember like that. That was like, that's mad. That's mad. And then the following game was away at Tottenham. I'm on the bench again. Wow. And then David Ginola, my all-time idol, because I was a winger when I was, even though he was on the left wing, I was on the right wing, and I used to think I was a bit David Ginola. I played in the Nike Tiempos, you know, wore my pads eye, white tape around my little tie-ups, teasing out the fold-up. Do you get what I mean? Long shorts. Tiempo flap over tongue, got to be big. Ginola wore them big, I'm going big. All of that, and I'm on the bench. Guess who's playing? David Ginola. I always remember we was in the tunnel and Ian Wright was there, and I'm looking at Ginola, 6'3", like this Adonis of a man, Barnet, absolute down here. And Wright, I always remember Wright, he went, "Fucking hell, David, have you bathed in that Jean-Paul Gaultier?" He stunk of Jean-Paul Gaultier. You remember the blue one when he first come out? He literally, the whole tunnel smelt of Jean-Paul Gaultier. I remember that scenario. I was crying. All the boys just started cracking up because Righty.
What was David's reaction?
Righty, just absolutely bothered because David, that was in his pinnacle, and Righty's had his career by then, so he become this like joker, like he can prank around. I suppose that was Righty anyway, but it was amazing just to be there. I remember looking in the tunnel, and David, I remember this scenario, and going into White Hart Lane, that stadium. I know they got the amazing one, which we'll talk on in a minute because I've also been that one. But I remember the scenario, and Harry Redknapp. It's my second game, by the way, Fenners, you get what I mean? And he went, "Just get tight on David and just show him inside to the pack of players." This ball come over. I remember the dugout was really low at White Hart Lane. And the ball come over and Harry Redknapp's gone to catch the ball and David jumps up in front of Harry on the sideline. And we all thought it was going out. And we've half gone up, jumped up, brought it down on his chest, went on a mazy, cut inside Stevie Lomas, done razor rudder and bent it in the top corner. Harry just went, great goal, David. On the side. And we were all in the day going, oh my God. And I'm going, oh my God, it's David like that. It was just the most amazing goal, shirt off, running around like that. And I was just thinking, this is just dreamland.
He was for a period, wasn't he? He was like imperious. He was just so strong and
unbelievable. And then Stevie Lomas from Razor Rudder said, "We showed him inside, Gaffer." He said, "Yeah, but put a fucking tackle on him. No one laid a glove on him." It's just like, he was just immense, weren't he? I remember that scenario. White Hart Lane was amazing.
Yeah.
But all them, to be fair, it doesn't really change. All them grounds that we think as fans that are magnificent, they are.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. You know, everyone knows Ellen Road has got something about it. Everyone knows Anfield is the place. Everyone knows, like Old Trafford, Newcastle. Like Newcastle was amazing. I tell you, a ground that is amazing. You drove Everton.
Yeah.
When you drive in, it's like a tight Coronation Street road. It's
it?
weird. You got houses. Imagine living there. Yeah. I never got my head round that concert. That was tight. That was a fierce crowd right on top of you. But one little story as well I want to give you was, so I done 3 years at West Ham, and then the first ground that, do you know what, I always go back to, because I never played for West Ham and always played reserve games. You know, you had one man in their dog in the reserve game, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You had a handful of scouts up there. You probably had 150, 200 people watching, not that many in these big stadiums, do you know what I mean? Because you still, as a reserve, back then, you'd still play at Chelsea, QPR, Loftus Road, Upton Park. You'd still play at all the real grounds. And I remember once I left West Ham, going into a first team Peterborough, and my very first game was Swindon away with 7,500. I remember it like it was yesterday. It's the most packed ground I've ever been at to this day. And I got to play in 40, 50, 60,000 seaters. Yeah. And to this day, I don't think I've ever been as scared as that game.
Really? Because
that was my first inkling to professional football. First team football, playing for 3 points while we're all getting good wage. Like, this is my first step in. Yeah. And I remember that clear as day, running out to 7,000 people. And Fenners, I'm telling you now, it seemed like 70. Yeah. And I half crumbled, to be honest. I half didn't play my best. But that has a big impact. So Swindon away was one ground that sticks in my mind because of the timing of it and the scenarios. But played at some mad... Remember Ninian Park, Cardiff. Fuck, that was hostile, mate. I just remember... as well, the players make the grounds as much as the fans, you know. Leo Fortune West. Fucking up front, like, handful up top. Graham Kavanagh in the centre midfield, like a military type guy. Used to go up against them. Ninian Park was mental. Also went on trial at Norwich, Carrow Road.
Did you?
Yeah, I went on trial at Norwich when I left West Ham before I signed for Peterborough. Nigel Worthington, manager there, and they was going to sign me, and I was really close to signing for Norwich, and didn't happen in the end. They let me go after 3 weeks trial, but so close to signing. I remember sitting up in the stadium watching them play a game, and I thought, 27,000. This was like didn't happen. But that was also sticks in my mind. So all of these grounds, amazing grounds. Do you get what I mean? But if you're going to ask me what one's the best, I'd have to say Anfield. I'd have to. Old Trafford comes close, but Old Trafford's different.
Yeah.
It's like when you drive into that, especially then when it has, you know, there's a lot of chat now being Old Trafford's tired, etc., etc. You know, this was 20 years ago, 25 years ago, Theatre of Dreams, and it's a bit of a different driving, isn't it? You're looking, sort of drives wing round, it's like in an industrial hard sort of park, you know. Anfield isn't that.
Anfield's like in sort of
streets, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, it's just mental. So Anfield, I'd have to say. Another one, sorry to go on, but another one was Newcastle.
Yeah.
St James.
It's a great ground, isn't it?
Like,
it's a great ground.
First thing I noticed about St James, how steep it was.
Yeah.
That was the first thing. It was like, oh my God, steepness. Do you know what I mean? On that home, on that side you walk out at, and it goes round to the away end. The away fans are up there. That's the furthest I've had to look with the old man up. Like, fucking hell, that's a long way. That was deep. That was deep. But to be fair, when you're talking about stadiums, you look at hostile, don't you? What's the most hostile? Then you look at amazing to play, like atmospheric. So there's all different avenues.
All the pitches were all the pitches good.
The higher up you go, they're all immense. I remember playing at Highbury. Highbury, mate.
Yeah.
Like I remember this because you used to come out the tunnel and it's low. Like the pitch was like above your head.
Yeah.
Weird. So you'd come out middle of the pitch and you'd step up and all of a sudden you'd reach ground level, mate. And it had the weirdest hump.
Like a camber, innit? They've got a
camber.
Trafford, yeah.
No, Fenners. It was a camber like I've never seen another pitch that had this sort of camber.
Next level camber. You couldn't see the other side. At eye level, you couldn't see the other side. You could just about see the penalty spot. It just went up on a hill and down. It was unbelievable, the camber on that pitch. But that was like, I remember that night. That was good. Again, the players, man. It's sort of like stadiums come in with the fans and the players and the moments you're in there. Do you get what I mean? Who was playing for them then?
Oh, really?
Oh, the
Bergkamp, Henry.
Oh, really?
Overmars, Mimi. Like, like you talk. This is like, it's just weird for me talking about it. Like,
it's mad, isn't it? It's weird. Like, do you ever like go pinch yourself and go, just stop and go, God, I shared that pitch with them, you know, and I was performing and
I know, mate,
against the best in the world.
But again, talking about what I've talked about before, I was that character. The cloak was on. I couldn't allow myself to go to areas better than me. No. I couldn't allow that. No. It looks weird now looking on and go, I behaved you. No, that's how I... Yeah. My mind was that strong. Oh, I'm going to give him something today. He's going to get one first five here. I'm going to leave a little bit on him.
Did you?
Did I fart? Mate, he picked... Oh, my God. I'll tell you a story about Henry, right? So there's certain players you come up against and you go, he's alien. It didn't happen a lot, to be fair, in my career. It happened probably an handful of times where... And it demoralised me. As in, I used to think I was that character where I belonged here. Like, there's no one better than me. I used to think that. Whoever I come up against, and I know it's weird me saying it now, looking back, because I come up against the very best. Ronaldo, you name them, I played against them. And Henry got it on the inside left, where he used to play like on the left side, didn't he? He floated out on the left all the time. You hear the centre-halves going, he ain't even in the middle, like... Sort it out, they're overloading us on the left. I said, well, that's what they do. We know what he does. He come in on the left. I was playing with Danny Murphy at Fulham, right? Coming on the left. He's cut in, right? And he's tore off, like, vertically across the pitch. Like, it was just about, if I'm trying to give the listeners, it was about 20 yards inside our half, but he's gone straight across the centre of our pitch, not towards our goal. So byline to byline. Tore off, stopped to me, right? Give it a little, you know when you put your foot over the old drag back shuffle, stop. But as he stopped, he's going at a rate of knots, John, right? That you can't stop that quickly without sliding. Well, I didn't. I've stopped, I've slid, right, like that. As I've stopped, he's gone again. Fuck me. He's 5 yards.
Yeah.
I've looked at Dan, right, Murphy, I've gone, what's the script here, boy? He's gone, just get on with it, Jim. He's done the same to me for years. I got in at half time and I went, Dan, what is that? He said, it's just the power.
Yeah.
I said, like, we don't possess that, lad. I said, no, I do. I can work on that. Like, my head.
Yeah.
I'm going, nah, if he can... Nah, Jim, levels here, boy. Yeah. And I've half had to wear that.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Yeah. Me being me, amazing though.
Who are the other players that you said that you've played against? Some that
Rooney.
Yeah.
Rooney. So all these aliens, I've had things happen to me, and that's why I call them aliens, right? So Rooney at Old Trafford, or we might have an episode of aliens of players, and I can tell them another time on a podcast.
Just carry on anyway, because then we can chuck it out.
Okay, so this one. So yeah, there was a scenario at Old Trafford, right? I was playing for Fulham at Old Trafford against Man United, and the ball. And I used to play the 10 role, so we play with one striker, say Brian McBride, and I used to play the 10 role. So when they've got the ball, I used to drift off of them and wait for the counter. Do you know what I mean? So they drifted back, ball's gone through our keeper, Mark Schwarzer, and I'm on the counter. Rooney's pressed the keeper. I'm like, Schwarzer, I'm on the right wing. Now, everyone knows at Old Trafford, like, the red grow on the side, right? It's right close to the pitch, and it has a steep drop-off. Like, it's about 5 foot drop-off, and it goes straight on the red... Yeah, camber everywhere. So Schwartz's got the ball, and I go, yes, Schwartz, buzz the ball. So ball's mid-air now, you got to imagine this. Ball's mid-air. I look back at the ball. Ball's mid-air, in between me and him, 40 yards. He's on the edge of the box, 40 yards. I'm 20 yards inside the halfway line in our half. I'm on the right-hand side. As I look back, ball's mid-air. Rooney's on the keeper. Boom. My last look was that picture.
Yeah.
I don't know how the fuck he got there, but all I could hear was stampede hard, right?
Yeah.
Swear. Bull in a china shop comes to mind. I'm thinking it's fucking him, right? I know it is. Fucking Rooney. Fucking no one runs like that. Stampede as fuck, right? Because I always remember as well, Rio used to say to me, Rooney's underestimated for his pace. Like, everyone says that Owen's quicker. Rooney's quicker than Owen. People don't have Rooney as rapid. Rooney's rapid, mate, right? I'm shitting myself. I'm thinking I'm on the counter, right? Yeah, like that. And now he's on me. I can almost feel him touching me. And I'm like, fuck, what way do I turn? I've got to check out here. Fuck it. I go red grass side. He goes, wallop, straight. Yeah. I roll down the slope. I got red grime and gnashers, right? I swear, I'm looking round. I swear to this day, I think I was half knocked out and not having banter. I didn't know where I was. Looking at me, half smiling, Rooney growling. I'm going, oh, fucking you, it's you. How the fuck did he get within 40 within 3 seconds? Honestly, John, I do not know. We'll do a Close Encounters edition because there's at least 6-7 players. Paul Scholes. Tell you some shit what he done to me. Like, it's like filth pot stuff. It's like, but me off a building site, what am I doing with them, man?
Amazing though, isn't it?
It's just a nut. I love talking about it because now I can. And I look back and I just think, Jim, you one lucky bastard doing what you done, really.
Did you ever play at Wembley?
Never played at Wembley. Never ever played at Wembley, which would have been amazing. But I played in Wales.
At Cardiff?
At Cardiff, yeah. In the final against Man United. We beat Arsenal in a two-legger. Got slaughtered in the end, 4-0. In the cup final, but amazing. That was amazing.
Yeah,
had the roof on.
Yeah,
had the roof on. That was amazing atmosphere.
Stadium,
but yeah, so many great stadiums out there. But Anfield, let's go back to that. It's just like, I just don't think there's one better.
I played in a few, those end of season games where you get like clubs will say, "Come on, we're having the sponsors day on the pitch."
Yeah, where was your go on?
Well, I've played at a few, but what I was going to say was, I always felt. I shouldn't really be doing it. Yeah. Also, I played on Anfield. I played at Villa Park. I played at. Wow. We played the first ever game at the new Wembley.
How? Who for?
Soccer AM, the Soccer AM Badgers team. We played in. I think Serge played in it. I think Tamara Sam played in it, and he got
big number 9.
He roped his. He was like, I'm only playing if I get my son to play as well. Something
brilliant.
Like that. His son played.
Turkish 9. He calls himself the big Turkish 9 international.
But I've got.
He has himself as a proper.
I'll find the photograph.
Team.
It's a good photo. It was
Wembley
was
must have been unbelievable.
It was great. But you don't. It's weird, isn't it? When you're playing, once the game starts, you're playing, aren't you? And it's strange. Don't get me wrong,
almost goes blurry, don't it?
Yeah.
Was it, not being horrible, there weren't a massive crowd there,
No,
was there?
no,
So that must have been weird and
there
echoey.
Been a few.
Was it echoey?
Was it what?
Echoey. Yeah, that was too quick,
There was. I can't remember when it wasn't like a big crowd or anything like that. But
yeah.
But yeah, I've played in some of those games and it's brilliant. Don't get me wrong, but it's just a bit odd. They were like, we're going to do a penalty. We're going to do a penalty shootout at Anfield at the end. They were like, do a penalty shootout at the Cop End, and I was like, I don't want to take one.
Really?
Yeah, it's weird. I just was like, I don't want to do it. It was almost like I felt I shouldn't be doing that, you know.
Oh man, no, you should, man. If you're there, you're there. But you gutted now you didn't take one, didn't you?
I am actually, yeah. But the only time I've played in front of a crowd, and I would say it was close to being a capacity crowd, was at Sellers Park. It's for Julian Speroni's testimonial. Alan Pardew was managing our side.
Yep. And
it was we were playing against, I want to say Dundee or Dundee United. It wasn't Dundee United, it's Dundee, because that's Julian Speroni's first club.
Right.
I'd been asked to play for the Palace team. I'm not really sure why I got asked, but it was Clinton Morrison.
Yeah.
Was
all
playing.
The boys.
We went out, and he'd given us a big team talk.
Yeah. And
I thought, he's going to say to me, like, you're right on the bench. And so I didn't play first half. I didn't play first half. A lot of the first team, I think, played the first half. I think I'm right. I'm thinking like Wilf Sahar and Palace.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
so quite...
we're playing the first half, and then the second half was like the sort of the Palace legends, and
easy
and me.
Yeah.
And he said, Alan Pardew said, go and play up top. Like what? I'm like right back at best, you know. Just anyway, puts me up top, and I'm playing with Clinton. I'm telling you now, I did not touch the ball for 25 minutes, I would say.
What'd you put that down to?
Well, we came out at half time for a bit of a warm-up. Yeah, they put us through our paces for a warm-up.
That Mullager.
I was like, that's more intense than probably any football match I've played in. It was, honestly, I was breathing out of places where you don't breathe. I get on the pitch and I'm looking over. I'm going, this is amazing. I'm on this pitch with all these players.
Yeah.
The Dundee players were just like, I was up front, and I don't know how to close down. You know, like you're gonna be closed down as an amateur. You're just gonna run, and like no one's telling me what to do or anything like that.
You're being a busy fool on the pitch, then, aren't you?
I'm just absolutely running myself into the ground. And 75% of me is going, please take me off. I know I've only been on 20 minutes, and it's like, this is amazing, but please take me off, because it was enjoyable, but it was just, I literally haven't touched the ball. And then you're so knackered, by the time the ball comes into you...
Do you remember the first time you had that touch?
Dong, it just bounces. It was like, you know, it was horrible. It was horrible. Yeah. And they're all laughing. You know. And then Clinton gets it, I'll knock it into Clinton, he lays it into me, and then I'm like, there's like 20 yards of space there, so I've just played it in. Like Clinton just stopped and gone, Fenners, what are you doing? It's like, I need it in here. I can't run out there. And I went, yeah. And I was just like, get me off. It's like, I don't know what I do. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm out of my depth. I've never been someone who would criticise professional footballers, or even top level amateur football. And on that pitch, I was just like, I wanted to say, if you could put someone in that position, and it sucked out everything out of me, and any of my ability, my confidence, it was just gone. I was just like, I could feel myself shriveling, in front of the crowd, and then they did set me off. I think after about
30 minutes. Pars was like, come on, boy, you've had your run.
I'm expecting goals would have been for that night, but
brilliant.
But I loved it.
Yeah,
I loved
of course.
It. But it was a proper crowd, and it was too much. It's overwhelming. So God knows what it was like for you, and going into those going into those arenas.
Doing,
yeah, good point, mate. Good point. Now, I don't want to be negative, and I don't like doing worst and things like that, but
yeah.
Are there any stadiums that you went to where you maybe didn't have a great experience, or it was like, oh, I'm not really looking forward to going there for whatever reason?
Just trying to think. Do you know what? Loftus Road, for me.
Right.
It's not so much the stadium. I suppose it's a bit of a... It's just so tight.
Yeah.
The pitch is always rock hard. I never had a good game there. It's just on top of you. It never feels like you've got any space. You've got 5 seconds where the pitch... The ball spends 20 minutes out of play. The change rooms are the smallest change rooms I've ever been in the away side. It's just like, it was hard. Not that the stadium was bad, because it isn't. And if it's your own, it would be brilliant. Because it's a hard place to come and play.
Yeah.
But I always remember that. And I was one, come and try that bit hard to have a good game here, and it never ever... I remember I'd give a ball away on the halfway line once they've gone through and scored. Every time I go there, I've had a nightmare, not a good game. So that comes up in my... But it's them grounds as well. I'm trying to think of the ground when... I don't know whether it is them, the actual team. I think it is Rotherham. Whether the team turned off the hot water... You know, all them tricks.
Oh, really, yeah.
When they all, like, turn off the heating, it's like a cold December or November, January, and, like... No hot water, boys, sorry. That's all you get off the caretaker. You're like, no, you got to have hot water, otherwise don't pass regs. Got to have hot water, mate. My head would come off. Got to have hot water. Well, we ain't. Oh, is that right? Okay, wait until you come to ours then, mate. No problem. Get one of them, didn't you? Like, no, when it goes off a little bit. So it's fucking bollocks, I said. Got to have a shower, hot water. So your head would come off. These grounds, when they try and play games now, that's either down to something or the ground isn't quite there. Whatever it is, you always remember them little crafty little stunts they pull, and that sticks in your mind. You know, you'd go at these grounds and they'd try it and then put a bit on you. Like Luton was one as well. Luton was a hard place to play. That was right hostile, tight. It was like, yeah. You used to always... I suppose it depending on what time of year you go there on them as well. You know what I mean? Like,
you look at Luton now. You look at their pitch and the ground, and like you say, it's tight. But how big is their pitch compared to, say, Anfield? Well, the actual pitch, if you measured it, is it?
There is regs, isn't there? There's regs. It's got to be inside a certain yardage or meterage, both sides. But I'm telling you now, Fenners, that there's a lot of scale difference there, because I played on some, and it wasn't the way the game panned out, and it wasn't due to tactics and the way your team set up. I played on some pitches where you had spaces, mate. It's like enormous. Yeah. That's not possible through tactic, right? No. Not that scale. You've got 22 players on the pitch. And then I played on pitches, Luton, QPR, and there's always these tight pitches I didn't like. Less time equals less quality. Yeah. Simple. Yeah. Right? And I was like, this pitch, is there any chance? And it felt like the crowd on top, it feels like they've just squeezed the pitch in there. And that doesn't qualify for the regs of the space. That's how tight it was on some pitches. Now, that actually happened to me. Do you get what I mean? There was some pitches where it's... I believe they were under-regged. I believe there was... like they're launching long throws in and reaching it to the penalty spot. Now, if you go... Like, JJB was a massive pitch at Wigan. That's why I loved it. Right. You ain't getting that long throw reaching... Do you get what I mean? Yeah. Like, Stoke, Delap... I'm sure they brung their lines in so he could launch it fast stick with a fizz throw. He ain't doing that at the JJB with a soft wind in his boat. He ain't getting it fast stick. So that's 100%. The scale of the pitch was like... His
throw was so long that the goalies used to put it out for a corner, didn't they?
Yeah, did you see him? He just go, he's got more precision with a throw. Would go corner. Yeah, unbelievable. But that is a horrible ground, Stoke. Yeah, that is a horrible ground. A lot of players say that, and a lot of fans say that is a horrible ground.
I mean, I didn't play that. I've been there, and it was freezing, but it was snowing as well.
I've played it on a warm day. To be fair, like it ain't every day. It's always snow. Everyone says cold, blowy day at Stoke. No, they get summers up there as well. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. But when you say worst, if you're a football lover. Yeah, you're like, you ain't going to turn up to a ground after pitches like playing professional football. They're all decent to a point. You ain't really going to turn up to a ground and go, that's real shit. No, it's like it's game on. Where, like, do you get what I mean? It's like still good. You're in front of a crowd. You still got. Do you get what I mean? Like, it ain't gonna be.
All grounds for me. All grounds have got something about them. You know, every ground has got something that's unique about
Absolutely.
them, and I just love it. I love the. As I said, I don't like the way a lot of football's gone in the way it's become very sort of homogenous and everything's starting to look the same. So, you know, we should be celebrating the fact that all these incredible grounds that are all different and they've got their 100%. Own little.
That's why.
Things.
If we was to ever FC Bullard, right? If we was to ever own our own ground, or if we ever grew our football team where we could have our own ground, like I'd love somewhere else hostile.
Yeah.
And I got brought up like Millwall was my first club really.
Yeah.
I played 14, 15 and I remember my dad talking about grounds. We went to the Old Den.
Did you play at the Old Den?
I played at the Old Den a few times. Upson Park, the Old Den, they were hostile as shit, but the Old Den was the most hostile place I've ever been with footy. To a point where the old man going, not taking it there again, son. That was proper. That was like, I'd love to see Bullard to be saying like that, just so the other team feared us, and we were known for that one day. You know what I mean? That'd be epic. Look at me thinking I've got my own stadium. Let your dreams go.
Well, we will have one day,
Let
mate.
your dreams go.
Did you play abroad much?
Did I play abroad?
Do
you know what? I'm not very well travelled as a footballer. I'm not very well travelled anyway because of football. I'm trying to think where I played abroad. Not that I can remember, but when I retired, I went to the Nou Camp to watch.
Yeah. Me
and Granty Ledbetter. I played with Ipswich. We just loved football. So we went and we loved Barca the way they played. You know, this was at the 10, 12 years ago when they were running things. Busquets, Iniestas, you know, Barca level. So we went up there, went all the way up the top of Nou Camp. Mate, do you really... Now that I thought Premier League achieve great things, and then there's just a flat line and go, this is a fucking football club.
Yeah.
When you go in, you see the coaches drive in. It's like levels, and the fans are like so into it.
Yeah.
It's like a carnival atmosphere all day. You could see Barcelona. Like I was right on the outskirts, went in a few bars and restaurants to really soak in the atmosphere. Had a few drinks. That was just epic. I was like, that's nothing like any club I've played for.
No.
Or even been around. You know, you probably get that Liverpool, you know, but where I was born, not like that.
No.
And that stadium was just frightening. You?
Yeah.
Have you been abroad where you go, wow, what a stadium?
San Siro. I went
Wow.
to San Siro.
Yeah.
It was a.
Everyone says San Siro's like the Mecca.
Yeah. It was Italy played Wales. I think it was a World Cup qualifier. And it was
Levels.
feisty. Yeah, it was quite it was hostile.
Yeah.
But it was, as I remember, it was quite foggy. And it's a bit of an amphitheatre, isn't it? The pitch is sunk in almost a little bit, and it was just, it was kind of a typical kind of like, almost felt a bit supernatural.
Yeah. They were flare mad back then as well, weren't
Yeah,
they?
yeah.
Flares and smoke bombs and this and that.
But it was just...
Flags. Big on flags away, ain't they?
Yeah.
Like big flags.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? And like, they send them... I don't know, they're a bit more into it than that. I don't know whether the Premier League's going to be corporate. I don't know, it's just a bit more...
They've got their... You know, they've got like the ultras, haven't they? A lot of these clubs and grounds and stuff, and it's a different...
I'm not promoting Hulu. I'm not saying that, but it's just a different...
But they have
a different vibe.
They have a big say in what goes on at the grounds and stuff like that. I think a lot of these.
Do they really?
I think so. I think there's a relationship with like the ultras and the club, because you know it's like it's a two-way thing.
It's their
you know,
home,
it's like yeah. So. But I love all the banners. I love all the banners. I love to see it. But
when I say flags, I mean big flags.
Yeah, like the big Tifosi sort of things.
it's just creating that sort of atmosphere, isn't it?
I like United. I think, again,
United,
I'm not a United fan, but they do a lot of, I like their banners and that sort of stuff. It's.
Are there any stadiums that you haven't been to? That's what I want to ask you.
Loads.
Go on.
There's loads.
If you,
I've been to.
Right, tomorrow. If you had to choose a stadium, tomorrow we're going to go. Where do you want to go?
Probably.
Bernabeu.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, I've not been to.
Was you going to say Bernabeu?
I was going to say Bernabeu. I've not been to Celtic Park either.
Oh, I had a chance.
Yeah. Well, not a chance to just go. You got.
I had a chance to sign.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
That's another chat. Not getting into that one today.
No.
So sad.
That's a big one.
So sad. My dad fucked that up.
Well, enough tears.
I walked round there. Neil Lennon was like, and just showing me, like, man, that was a stadium. Yeah, I wished I went there, but we'll have that chat another time.
Yeah. There's loads. Like, I'd like to go to Olympic Stadium, Rome.
Yeah. Italy had their little scene, didn't they, for a while?
Yeah.
Them grounds were like, remember Italia 90? Back in the day, that was like...
Yeah.
Lazio's and all that. Juve. Sicko. Amazing times.
So, Jim, when we are creating a stadium for FC Bullard...
do you think it'll ever happen?
Well...
That's a bit too far, isn't it?
I mean, probably not, but if it did... I think the thing with me and you is we love tradition and we love that passion, but also I think we're quite forward thinking about football and how we can make our stadium somewhere where people can come and
we can all dream, can't we?
Enjoy it. Yeah. So
okay, what are you asking me?
Well, I'm saying, some clubs have different things at their grounds. Well, like, for example, Fulham, they've got a swimming pool.
Oh,
apparently at there.
Have you seen pictures?
I haven't seen. No. Is it like?
Mate,
is it a full, like, what sort of size is it? Is it like a full size or a?
The pictures I see, I only see like drawings of it. Yeah, it's. Do you know what the feel is? Shoreditch House vibe.
Right. Okay.
Soho House. Do you
sort
go
of like rooftop garden kind of vibe?
And do you know Fulham is overlooking the river, mate? It's absolute dream. But if you was to position a foot, that is unbelievable. Set the scene.
Okay.
Shoreditch House. So yeah, if you was going to say, mate, it'd be gorgeous, because they're all taken to that level now, aren't they? Like, they want to make the viewing that extra little bit special, don't they? I.e., look at Tottenham's ground.
Yeah, I mean,
what they do.
Yeah.
I went in the other week, right? Sorry to bounce on your ideas here. I went in the other week, right? I had a mate who had a box in there. Gone in there. Friend of a friend. He said, come in my box. Gone in the box. It was at ground level, right? Gone in there. It was like a bar, modern bar, all sliding doors, heated seats down the front. He was having lamb chops at the bar while you could watch the football, having a drink. I was like, when did this happen? This cool, like, your own little bar, your own set, mate, Fenners. It was unbelievable. That's how I'd love to watch it now. God knows what you pay for the box.
No.
It's a right few quid, but honestly, it was beautiful. It was absolutely glorious. I could watch football every week, especially Tottenham, big stadium, big team. That was the way they've done it there. It was phenomenal.
We want an experience, don't we?
That's what they're all going on, like Tunnel Club.
Yeah. That's City.
City.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I heard Jim Ratcliffe talking the other day, saying that whether he wants to introduce this at United or he's just talking generally, but saying that once the football's over, the game's over, everyone piles out of the stadium.
Yep.
Some leave a bit earlier to beat the traffic, and the transport system isn't equipped to cope with it. So you get backlogs of people, you get queues, you get frustration.
You're after a dribble effect now, aren't you?
So how can you keep the fans there?
Yeah.
Can you put on entertainment? Could you have shops?
Yes.
And I was thinking, because again, so especially if you've won, you were talking about it there, you want to sort of stick around, don't you, probably?
Yeah.
And as long as it doesn't take away anything from the football, then I think things like that are good ideas, and bring revenue in and look at, you could stick around and there might be a gig on.
Yeah.
So I'd like us to think about stuff like that. I'd like us to think about what we could have, as an add-on. Football first and foremost, and look after the fans. Let's ask the fans. We're going to ask the fans what
the Tunnel Club and all that, those class, innit? You go to have a bite to eat and you're right by it. You see all the boys going out. You see, you're seeing a little bit more for your money than what the other speckies are seeing. Because it is possible one day, right, that we have our team. Yeah. Well, not have our own ground, but we have our team. And we do have a game with a manager that we're interviewing, with our players, with our backroom staff, with our physios, with all our fans wearing our own kit. And one day,
I think it could happen.
It would be great, wouldn't it?
As always, please get in touch with your ideas for what would constitute a wonderful stadium for FC Bullard.
Mad ideas. I want some ideas that ain't been done.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah. We want left field. Yeah. We don't worry about the budget at the moment. We're going to dream. We're going to dream big, aren't we?
We get the budget.
We're going to dream big, and then
the socials, isn't we?
Producer Robbles will clip our wings, and we'll have to work around that. But dream big, technology, fan engagement, stuff that you'd like to have on a match day when you come to watch.
What's football missing?
FC Bullard.
What's it missing?
And the way to do that, Jim, how do people get in touch with us?
This is where I've got to look. For all of our socials, FC Bullard on our socials, and FC Bullard at crowdnetwork.co.uk.
For lengthy documents.
For any lengthy documents.
Anything meaty, where you've actually thought about it and put a bit of work into it, maybe chucked a few visuals in there, a little bit of a...
That'd help.
PowerPoint.
Yeah.
That's
all your socials. And get involved. We need yous.
We need
because we can't run this club on our own, as we keep saying.